I don't know, like for me, like once you were warriors,
Yeah.
when that happened with her daughter and she ended up killing herself, like
Yeah.
nobody would have known if she haven't wrote about it. Like I think
Yeah.
it would have been like a secret to your grave,
Mhm.
which pretty much happened. But yeah, I don't think back then a lot of people spoke up about it as they
Yeah.
are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, back then it's just like,
did
okay.
you speak up? Did you speak up about it eventually, or you just kept that to yourself like your whole life?
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, but then it's like, oh, that's back in the day, so it's like it's
Yeah.
irrelevant now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Yeah, like I mean, before that, I was sexually abused by someone I knew,
Oh, okay.
and nobody knows about that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I bring it out, I'm gonna break up my family.
Yeah.
It's like if back then I felt, even growing up in the church where I would be so judged
Yeah.
that I shouldn't do certain things. So I closed in. Like my family doesn't know about that. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I don't think they'll ever find out. I hope they don't find out. But I feel
Yeah.
like one, they either wouldn't believe me. Two, it would totally rip my family apart, which I don't want.
Yeah.
And three, it's been so long that I've convinced myself that maybe it was just a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a dream. Maybe it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
you just try to push it in back, and then it disappears. It does.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it surface,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck. But that's that.
We got love, y'all. What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Kava Club podcast, where we share healthy conversations, experiences, applied knowledge, and stories to promote happiness, love, success. When harmonized in complete balance, it completes the circle of life. You guys already know who I am. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show. If you're watching this for the very first time, thank you so much for watching in. Thank you for tuning in. Please show some love and support. Please like, subscribe to my channel. And if you've been watching, please subscribing. Thank you so much for all the love and support. It means so much to me. It keeps the fire burning, keeps that vela, I'm talking vela, keeps the fire burning, keeps me going to keep doing what I'm doing. But I'm excited today. I am excited today. I have a very special guest. It's one of our mixed Polynesian sisters all the way from Hawaii. And she loves to spread love and positivity. I love her energy. I love her vibes. I know she's excited. I know she's nervous a little bit, but she's excited. It's a good nervous. It's a good nervous, right? It's a good anxious. So she's excited to be on here today. I just want to say thank you so much directly to her. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on my show. But I'm very excited to have her on the show and share her life story for all you guys. But I'll allow her to introduce herself real quick. So it's all you.
Hey, aloha. I am Tira. I am from Honolulu, Hawaii. Excuse that. Yeah, and I'm excited to share my story with you guys.
It's all good. I'm excited too, Tira.
Oh gosh.
All right, so let's start off the podcast. Tira, I guess the first question I'm going to ask, I know a lot of people in my audience don't know who you are. So can you give a quick synopsis of your life story, your background, and how did you grow up?
Yeah, like he said, I am Polynesian mixed. I am mixed with Hawaiian, a bunch of Asian, and a bunch of white European. So that's my mix. And I grew up in Hawaii. Hawaii is different culturally, it's a mixed pot. So we get a little bit of everything, even if we're not everything. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up was okay. I did come in like a middle class family. We weren't like
it's all good.
Sorry. We weren't like broken down, but we weren't like high makamaka is kind of like up there.
Yeah.
Snobby kind. So we were okay. My parents were working, we were I would say fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, it was rough. My dad was a alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
druggy. He would abuse my mom, and we've seen all that. We
Mm-hmm.
experienced it. Um, but I grew up like in the Mormon. I grew up with LDS,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was like strict in the church, even though it wasn't as strict. Like there'd be phases of stern churchness, and then phases of no church at all.
Yeah, so
So it was
you're
kind
like
of like an in and
inactive,
out.
inactive,
Yes,
active.
yes. And my dad, he went through the different stages of that as well. Like he was born and raised in it. His family was born and raised in it, but it's like when he got caught up with the drugs and alcohol, it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're no longer in it. So it was rough. I developed the love hate for the church,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I developed some other aspects that I'm not really proud of, but it did define who I was, help define it. I used to sneak out every time, like
Yeah.
I knew my dad was under the influence. I would sneak out, or I knew I could like stay out late because the supervision wasn't there. My mom eventually moved out. She wanted
Yeah.
to divorce him, and I
I know.
I I
I
wouldn't say I hated her,
yeah.
but I felt like since she was the one that left, it I was blaming her for breaking up our family.
Yeah.
Even though I knew my dad was wrong for beating her up and whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of played a big role. And then
I mean, why do you
they
why did you feel like that? Why did you feel that way regarding your mom of divorcing, leaving, even though the father wasn't really was really being
because
abusive.
at that time I felt like they could work it out, or like things. I know it was bad, but I felt like
Mm-hmm.
she broke up my family by leaving. That
Okay.
initial leave
Okay.
was our family ripping apart. And he ended up in jail for like a month.
Yeah.
And he promised my mom to make things work and better, and he would stop and whatever. So they got back together, they remarried, everything. They tried to make things work. He did have some slip ups, but then it was like, okay, well, my family's together,
Okay.
that's cool. But during that whole time of that phase too, that's when I said I was sneaking out, I was doing
Yeah.
things, I
Yeah.
was just being kalohe, like a rascal, like just
Yeah.
not super rebellious, but that's when I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I have
Going
my
to
freedom a little
going
bit.
to.
Because my dad used to be super strict,
Mm-hmm.
like yell at us, beat us up. And so when he was on that, it was like, okay, I'm free.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
me go run wild, because now I'm not in a cage anymore. And so I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my mom, if you leave, I'm gonna stay with dad, because I can
Yeah.
do things now. I can finally do stuff without freaking getting beat up or have a leash or anything like
Yeah.
that on me. And then yeah, they finally like decided to work things out. Things came back together again. We started going back to church again,
Yeah.
and all these things. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or good. So I think that was one of the biggest things that like formed me. Um,
Yeah. It seemed
and
like
well,
I was saying, it seemed
oh,
like you had like a closer relationship with your dad. Did you have a closer relationship
yeah,
with your dad than your mom?
Mm, I would say I'm closer with my mom, but I was always like a daddy's girl. I think
Okay.
to me, like my mom was my best friend, but I was, like how girls look up to their dad for like
Yeah.
someone they want to be with or whatever. And so to me, that's what it was.
Okay.
But my mom was like my best friend, and I think that just that one thought of her just leaving was what broke that chain link and was like, you're breaking us apart.
Yeah. But now you understand why. But now.
Yeah. Now I'm way more aware. I'm like, like if I was that, I was her now, I would be like, leave him. Like, you don't deserve that shit. Period.
Yeah.
Do not tolerate it. Oh, and prior to that, or like prior and during, I was like, at the time, I never realized it, but I was dealing with like sexual harassment from school. I had all these bigger Samoan tongue guys like slapping my ass in the hallway. And this is middle school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like, do I just laugh? Do I just deal with it? Do I like, to me, it wasn't like a big deal, like how people are making it now.
Yeah.
And so I was like thinking back to like, if I did report them, would they get in trouble? Would they like, what would happen?
Yeah.
But I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I didn't know that it was that bad. And like from elementary and stuff, I was accustomed to boys coming at me and telling me they like me and all this stuff. And so as I was growing up and more happened, I was like, okay, so this is normal. All these things, like in the process, when I was younger, I didn't realize it was such a big thing. Now you go back and you can report it and people are getting in trouble. Then I'm sure like everyone else, they kind of just tolerated it. They didn't say anything about it. They just, kept it to themselves.
Do you feel like it changed? Do you feel like going through that sexual harassment at a really young age as a girl, did you feel like that changed some part of you?
It did. I mean, like
what?
Like I said, I think I just tolerated it. Like it was like it was normal. I didn't realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
And so, you're walking around and someone slaps your ass or grabs your ass and you're like, oh, okay. Like, so am I supposed to do anything about it? Like, I don't know. Should I tell?
So you just felt like that was like a normal behavior from men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And realizing now, it's like, no, it's not. It's not.
How long?
He shouldn't touch you like that.
And how long did you realize, like later, like my age, did you realize, okay, this is not like normal behavior?
Oh, it took me forever. Forever. Like, so after high school, because even then, I'm in my 30s. Back then, everything wasn't present. Video cameras were so scarce. Everything wasn't known. So I don't know, like for me, like once you were warriors.
Yeah.
When that happened with her daughter and she ended up killing herself. Like nobody would have known if she haven't wrote about it. Like I think it would have been like a secret to your grave, which pretty much happened. But yeah, I don't think back then a lot of people spoke up about it as they are now. So
did you speak up? Did you speak up about it eventually, or you just kept that to yourself like your whole life?
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, but then it's like, oh, that's back in the day, so it's like it's irrelevant now.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, like I mean, before that, I was sexually abused by someone I knew.
Oh, okay.
And nobody knows about that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I bring it out, I'm gonna break up my family.
Yeah.
It's like if back then I felt even growing up in the church where I would be so judged that I shouldn't do certain things. So I closed in. Like my family doesn't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever find out. I hope they don't find out. But I feel like one, they either wouldn't believe me. Two, it would totally rip my family apart, which I don't want.
Yeah.
And three, it's been so long that I've convinced myself that maybe it was just a thought. Maybe it was just a dream. Maybe it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
you just try to push it and back, and then it disappears. It does.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it surface,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck. But that's that.
Yeah. I do.
um
I do want to ask you a question, like, because I do,
yeah.
because I've had podcasts with girls before, and they went through sexual abuse within their own family, right? And then the conversation is, what can we do moving forward? Number one, to prevent that from happening, because I'm pretty sure you don't want that to happen ever again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and of course, what can we do to provide a safe place for girls like yourself that you went through that, so they can be comfortable to come out with it? Because whatever it's sexual abuse, but any kind of trauma, that's something, that's a conversation we need to talk about. Mental health, right? Like any kind of trauma,
Yeah.
if you don't deal with it, and you hold it in for your whole life, that can cause a lot of issues later down the line in life. So I just want to ask you to have this healthy conversation, like what can we do to to prevent it, and also what do you feel like in our Polynesian community? Because one thing I do realize, like, a lot of Polynesian community, like, a lot of these issues, like, that goes on in the family, they'll just like hide it or disregard it or hide it under the brush it under the rug.
Oh, even like in the Asians, they kind of,
yeah,
if you bring it up to them, it's like it's dishonorable.
Yeah.
So they'll shun it from their kids.
Yeah.
They'll just like, okay, end of conversation. It ends there. And
because they want to protect like the family reputation.
Yeah.
But for me, my personal opinion, fuck that family reputation. We got to take care of the kid.
Yeah.
And that's my
but that's
opinion.
if they bring it up to you, because other than that, you're not gonna know.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is, but also that you just said it best. That's if, right? But I feel like if we create a healthy environment, because a lot of times they don't come out at all because of the environment, right?
Yeah, me.
Because of
I never
exactly.
Came out.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've seen like you said, you just mentioned it right now, like. You're afraid that nobody's going to believe you, or you want to be victim shamed, you want to be criticized,
and for me
right?
too now.
And
it's been so long.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and you know how many times I've seen that? I have personal friends myself, girls that came out about their rape, and this is like 6 months. This was like still brand new, and nobody believed them. Everybody was like nobody believed it. Everybody was questioning them. And a lot of people were blaming them for antagonizing or the men. You were like you put yourself in a situation to make the men do that to you, which is like, for me, it's just like, what, like, how are people thinking this way?
Yeah.
So
people think so differently, but the older you get, the more you're aware, the more you realize.
Yeah.
I think for me,
so what can we do? So what can we do to create a safe place, in your opinion, like for girls, because you went through that?
You have to, even as a parent, you have to be stern, but yet you have to be open enough to make it a comfortable environment for them to talk to you, for them to be your friend. You still have your restrictions and whatnot, but I realize yelling at someone is either going to make them rebel or shut down.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, you're being soft or whatever, but you are creating that environment where they want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You have to be super open and understanding.
Yeah.
I yell at my son and he'll shut down.
Yeah.
And that's how I was.
Yeah.
I won't say anything. My dad, I would get lectures almost every freaking night. Threatens with the freaking spoon and freaking belt. And I would just be like, I don't know. I don't freaking know. Like, I'll just shut up. And even till now, when he decides he wants to lecture me, I'll be like, okay. Like, now I'll agree.
Yeah.
But now they're like, you're only agreeing because you want us to stop and shut up. He's like, I want you to express yourself more. I want you to say something back. I want, but I'm just giving him, okay. Yeah. But for me, it's like, okay, I acknowledge it and I'll try to, better, even at this freaking day and age, but they still want more of a response. And it's like, you're not going to get it if you're lecturing or yelling or whipping them.
Yeah.
You got to chill, breathe in, and approach them in a more calm state.
Yeah.
And even if they're heated up and whatever, you wait till they're calm.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I've been doing. You have to learn how to be their friend and still be their parent, or just anyone in general. You have to be welcoming and non-judgmental. That's the thing. That's why people come, like, hit me up a lot too and say, you're so positive and I love your vibes. And it's because I don't judge anyone.
Yeah.
So that helps, being nice and open.
Yeah.
Was it like you're attacking?
Yeah, I know, right? Was there any point of time, because I know you say you didn't open up, but was there any point of time that you almost did, but then you?
So the people that I did open up to were my exes.
Okay.
Because I got deep with them on a personal level where they became like my best friends. And so that's when I opened up, and they took it well, and they took it like, oh, one of them was like, oh, but you could be lying. And it's like, okay, I don't even know why I tell you anything. Like, so I told my exes. I'm slowly like telling my friends, even my best friends, I'm like, I don't, anything super personal, like everything else is whatever, but anything like super personal, I'm like, no, I'll just keep it to myself.
Because I realized, that's why I wanted to ask, because like I do realize everybody, you eventually share with somebody, because it's really, really hard to share something, to kind of not talk about that your whole life, because it's just gonna eat you away. So I was just really interested to see if you did mention it.
A handful of people, but they're like, okay, okay, I can't do nothing now, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like you said, I think what you mentioned, like, we need to create a place where we can like communicate with kids to feel safe. Because I know sometimes as Polynesian parents, they were raised, and I understand, like, Polynesian parents, that they were raised by their parents that way. So even though some of the methods that they do with their kids, even though, like, for my own parents, I look back at it, when I was a kid, I was like, I used to like have resentment towards my parents, but then as I grew older today, I realized, oh no, that's how they were raised. So I can't really put any kind of fault on them. They just, that's what they're raised. And but the one thing,
that's what you realize.
And it's up to us, like, to make the changes within our generation, within our kids. But I do realize, I think you mentioned something to say, like, when you said soft, I feel like that's one of the struggles a lot of Polynesians have, is like, we have this idea of being strong all the time. And this is something I noticed, it's some kind of ideology or that's taught within our culture, like, to be strong all the time. And if you're soft, then you're, if you cry, if you speak up, you're emotional,
no weak. Crying.
Yeah. But honestly,
when I was in high school, though, I was like, I like it when guys cry. It shows that they have that emotion. And that's from high school. I was like, show me your freaking tears. Like, show me you have some sort of feeling,
Yeah. And that's why everybody and I feel like, and you can jump in this. I feel like because of that toxic culture of like masculinity, to be like strong all the time for men and women, I feel like that's why within our culture we're more willing to accept abuse and physical abuse, because we just link, oh, that's what a man does, being strong,
that's why, like, even when I see my dad beating up my mama, like, I knew it was wrong, but we see it a lot.
And that's how we're taught. And because for me, if like I see, like, if I see, if I don't care, if I see, I don't get hood, if I see somebody touch a woman, like, you're going down, I don't care. But
I do say, like, if she is like freaking just beating your ass, like, bear hug her or something. Not really like throw another punch, but like restrict her arms. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if I see a chick just like railing on a guy, like maybe he deserves it. I don't know. But if he is gonna fight back, like shove her, push her
Yeah.
away, like
Yeah.
you know, just so you get away. But don't like nail her. Don't freaking throw a punch. Or, like you may knock her out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Yeah. No. Like you said, like no. For me, it's sad that I see it sometimes where there'll be a physical altercation, violence between men and women, right? And then I've seen it before. I've been to Polynesian. I've been with parties, family reunions, or just like chilling with cousins, and we'll see something very violent, right? And then it's so normalized, like, oh, it is what it is. You know, it's like like that movie. That movie you just mentioned, like We Were Warriors, right?
once we're warriors.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Once We're Warriors. Like, I don't know if you guys
Jake
seen
the
this
Moss.
movie,
Yeah.
Jake the Musk, right? Like, yeah, he was beating the shit out of his wife, but everybody was just like, oh, shoot, just one of those phases they're just going through as a couple. But because I feel like it's because of this toxic masculinity as in a culture of being strong, that when we see shit like that, we just turn around like, oh, it is it's just what happens.
They turn
this is
ahead.
what happens. This is what happens in our culture. This is what Polynesians do. We're just like,
they do that, or she must have did something bad or whatever, and it's like now people are stepping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, everyone just turns a blind eye and like, oh, I didn't see anything. Oh, we don't know. Oh, that's their business. We need to stay out of it. And it's like their business or not. If he's beating the living crap out of her, like stop it. Push him away, put him in the corner. I don't know, calm his ass down because this ain't right.
Have you ever had an experience where you saw something and then you wanted to speak up or try to do something?
No, because I know I probably would have like gone off. If I did, I would definitely do something because it would boil in me. Especially not even if it. I mean, women, too, but I'm thinking kids. I've done it with kids where I've seen something and I'm like, don't be freaking doing that. Like, don't.
Yeah.
It's.
I want to ask you, because I've seen it happen to a lot of Polynesian women. I want to ask, why do you feel like Polynesian women tolerate?
I think they should fight back, but
why do you think in your experience growing up as a woman, like why do you feel like Polynesian women like tolerate physical abuse from the men?
I think, like you said, we're so comfortable with it being such male dominance, where the male is the head of the household, and the women are supposed to not condone, but they're supposed to like listen to their husbands. They're their caretakers, where they take care of everything outside, where the women takes care of the inside things. And I'm like, so they feel like they have to just be below and accept it, because that's what they're doing. Essentially, they're accepting where they're at. They're being content. Now women are kind of standing up more, but I think back then and even now they just think that that's how it is, that's how it's supposed to be, they're set in those ways.
I want to ask you, do you consider yourself like a traditional Polynesian woman, or are you more like progressive?
Traditional in what sense?
Like how a woman, how Polynesian woman, like you're supposed to be submissive to your husband, be a housewife, be at home, be family,
if I wasn't working
way.
So if I wasn't working, and he was taking care of everything financially and just overall, I feel like that would be my contribution to this, making it work. But if I'm also working, then I feel like it should be a joint thing. You're working, I'm working. We'll handle, the the bills, the food, the kids together. It should be a together thing, not where, oh, you do this and I do that. Like if you are in a union, it should be whatever. If he does make more, then it's like, you can contribute more financially, or if I make more, I can do that. But to me, it should be shared.
Okay.
But like I said, if he's working, then I'll handle, what I can from the inside, the kids. I'll cook, I'll clean, I'll do, or vice versa. If I'm working and he can be a stay-at-home dad or whatever, he handles that. I handle the finances, you handle this. Like, to me, there should be some kind of balance.
Got you. Would you prefer to be working, or would you prefer like to be just stay-at-home mom?
I would do part-time both. Have it a balance.
Yeah, got you.
Because there is that, that times where you just need to get out. You just need your own space, and it happens a lot when you're just home all the freaking time, and you're just tending to the kids all the time. You need you time. Everyone needs you time.
Yeah.
So if I could have that balance of both,
yeah. Got you. All right. So I know you talked about your mom got divorced, and then you went through school, high school, and now you turned 18. So what happened next?
So like in the middle of high school, I got a boyfriend, and I kind of like everything kind of revolved around him. I cut off all my friends because I was like, I don't need him. He's my best friend.
Was that your first? Was that your first boyfriend?
My first major one.
Oh, okay. Like you really fell in love with this person. Okay.
Yeah. Sadly.
The puppy love.
Oh, to me it was like real.
Okay.
And after like 5.5 years, things didn't work out. It was just a lot of fighting and arguing, and I lost myself.
Yeah.
I went through that heartbreak and I spiraled. At the time, I didn't realize it, but I took on drinking and going out and partying and just, living free. And like I said, at the time, I didn't realize it. But now that I look at it, it was because I was depressed. I was heartbroken. I was going through so much things, and I was using that to bandage up things, to forget, to whatever. So like I said, I cut off, like, I wouldn't say I cut them off. I just forgot about all my friends. So I had to go, when I was going out, I had to go remake friends.
Yeah.
All my old ones from high school, like I kind of like forgot about, didn't remember. So my neighbor, she's like one of my best friends, and she wasn't really going out, but her younger cousins were like 20, 21. They were, and I was like, damn. Damn. I guess I'm hanging out with these young people because they're the ones like living it up. And so I was friends with younger people, and then I had to, eventually my regular friends started coming back and whatnot. But I was just in a life of drinking and partying and just spending all my money doing that because I didn't want to remember. I turned emotionless and reckless and just didn't care. I was trying to live in the moment, and in the moment was really just me not even thinking of my future. So that messed me up big time. Like I just didn't know what I was doing with myself anymore.
I want to I know you said that you spent 5 years with this person, right? And that's a long time, compared to 2021 standard, that's a lifetime.
Oh yeah, it was.
I do know there's a lot of women that watch this, and they're probably into a very long relationship. I want to ask you, because usually when I talk to women or men too, when they have a long relationship, usually, and especially if it didn't end well, right? The relationship was already over. Like, it wasn't even 5 years. It was already, the signs were already
Oh yeah.
shown around 4 or 3 early, but then 5 years was when you finally, everything finally happened and separated. So for you, I want to ask you, for a lot of ladies out there, for a lot of men out there that are in a long relationship and they probably like don't know, because you already know how it is, right? Like when you invest into a long relationship, it's really hard to get out because you already invested that long
It
time, right?
is.
The longer you are
It
in a relationship, the harder it is to get out. You
yes.
know, so I want to ask you, because that's one of the questions I do receive from a lot of people that send me messages. They're in a very heavily long invested relationship, but they feel like
So
they can't. Yeah. So I want to, can you talk about that? When did you see the signs? When did you see things? And so people could get perspective and get like a lot of, they actually kind of need that insight from you.
okay. So I'm gonna share this a little bit, and then I'm gonna jump into my next relationship because that's when I
Yeah.
realized.
Yeah.
I did have a son with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's my high school sweetheart, the love of my life. I had
Yeah.
a son with him, and we broke up after a year.
Yeah.
I tried for 6 months. So to me, it was kind of like 6 years, that 5.5 year breakup. And then I tried for 6 months. I tried to get back. I didn't want my family to fail.
Yeah.
Even though it was an abusive, toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I've been drugged across the floor, it's just a lot of crazy stuff. I still try to make it work.
Yeah.
And during that 6 months, he got someone else pregnant.
Yeah.
And so that broke me. But I also had that strong mentality where if he loved me, that wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's completely like I'm not gonna try anymore. I'm done. Like
Yeah.
it shouldn't have, been that way if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm strong enough to walk away from a situation like that.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to try, but once I find out that it's at a point of no return,
Yeah.
there's no use for me. I'll cut you out.
Yeah.
And I would have forgot about him, but I also feel like the kids need
Yeah.
both parents in their life.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna strip that from them, especially if he wants to be there or he's trying. I'm not gonna take that away from the kid.
Yeah.
That's not. It's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if he was like deadbeat ghost, like he would never hear from me again.
Yeah.
But other than that, we stay good because of my son. Fast forward, partying, crazy, whatever. I used to celebrate my breakups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Year one of being single. Woo!
Yeah.
Because it is an accomplishment to not get into something else, And then I finally felt like I found someone again.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one was a 6-year relationship. So this one was even harder. So the first one was love. This one was hard in the sense of it just felt like natural, habitual. Like we were just, when you live or stay with someone for so long, you get used to them being there. And that's exactly what it was. It was after a while, I got too content. But like we knew it was toxic.
Yeah. What made it toxic?
Well, in the beginning stages, we were still just like out partying together, getting drunk and whatever. Yeah. That was cool and that was fun. And then I got pregnant again, and it was like he was still in that, like, he was a bouncer.
Yeah.
So he was still in that environment.
The club scene. Yeah, the club scene and everything.
And I was at home and he was very strict, being like, this is the first kid that, you know, he's gonna have. He didn't want me going out. He didn't want me wearing heels. He finally took me to a concert for my birthday and I was jumping up and down. He's like, don't jump. I'm like, I'm not gonna jump the baby out. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're being super strict for no reason. And, you know, he just didn't let me do a lot while I was pregnant. But yet here he is just doing all this. And, you know, he would always find like groups to be in, whether it was he was in college, whether it was sports or you know, just getting involved in group activities and leaving us behind. It's like, can you take care of us before you put all your attention? Because you're in school all day, then you go to your stuff all night. It was either school or work. It's toxic. He, you know, he fooled around and I still was like there. You know, I was pregnant. I didn't want to freaking like be pregnant alone. I didn't want to look like a dummy. I didn't want to all this stuff. I think it was like scared of being judged.
Yeah.
But shit still happens.
Yeah.
No matter what, shit happens. People are going to judge you. They're going to say shit about you. Like when I first got pregnant with my son, I guess my brother and my dad talked to the bishop.
Yeah.
And the bishop made this wise remark about me being pregnant, and my brother kind of flipped. He was like, you're a bishop. You're not supposed to freaking judge people.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, maybe she freaking made a mistake or, you know, had a slip up or whatever, but who are you to judge her? That's still my sister. I'll judge her. I'll give her all the shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be there for people.
Yeah.
And so after that, he like stopped going to church and whatnot. But so my relationship, you know, was toxic, my second one, but it was habitual. I was used to him being there and I was so content, even if he wasn't, but just knowing that he was. And, you know, I tried to break up with him a bunch of times, but it was that, you know, revolving, oh, I'll change, I'll do better, I'll do this. And then it'd be for a little while and then it would just go back to normal.
Yeah.
And like all my attempts of breaking up didn't work because I always went back. Even though I knew we deserve better.
Why'd you keep going back? Like when you look back at it now?
Because I didn't want to have a broken family.
Got you. So kind of like what you went through as a kid, that experience kind of had a impact in you later on in life. You just wanted to keep the family.
Yeah, like
together.
I see so much families that are broken, and I'm like, I'm thankful mine's kind of broke, but got mended. You know, I'm thankful that like there's so much people with, you know, kids from different people or people that aren't even married, and I'm like, you know, I'm in that old school way where, you know, I want the marriage and I want a whole family, and if I could, that's what would happen. Obviously, that's not my path. But I do eventually want like a family, you know, like together. And so that was it. And it's just, I don't know. I just didn't want, I felt like it would be super hard. Super hard alone. And then one day he finally told me that he wasn't happy. And I was like, bitch, you couldn't do this like 2 years ago. For me, like a breakup, unless it's like a strong breakup where you cheated on me, I'm fucking done, bye, beat it, or you know, like just so overly fed up. To me, it kind of has to be like a mutual agreement. I don't. That's just me. And so, when he told me he wasn't happy, I was like, okay, then let's not be together.
Did you say why? Like why he wasn't happy?
He felt like I was content with everything, and I was like, I didn't care as much. yeah, the feeling just kind of faded, and I was like,
Oh, go. So both.
I,
Yeah.
I attempted to break up with you, but you just want to play along. Okay, fine, whatever, you know. Um, so yeah, I was like, okay, so then we shouldn't be together, and then
Yeah.
that's when we broke up. To me, that was like a mutual
Yeah.
agreement. And then again, like since it was habitual, I was used to having him around. Um, I try to make it work for
Yeah.
the girls, for everything. Even though I knew it was toxic and I didn't love him, I tried to make him work for that case, and it sucked. And he was just over it, and he wasn't happy. And he's like, now you want to try after? It's like, sorry, I don't know. But
Yeah.
after that is when I realized, though, I don't want to waste any more years.
Yeah.
I'm in these long ass relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
he
Good.
did
Yeah.
want to marry me,
I mean,
but
that's
I
like
was,
two. That's two relationships. 6 and 6. That's 12 years.
yeah. And
That's a
I
long
told,
time.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna waste any more time. At one point, he did want to marry, or at a few points, he did want to marry me, but I was like, in his state, in this state, I don't
Yeah.
want to be with him for the rest of my life. I know
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to marry that. And it's just, to me, it's all about self-awareness and not settling. So after that, I'm like, I'm not gonna waste any more years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be freaking happy with myself doing my own thing. And if someone pops up, someone has to be fucking almost, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to
Yeah.
be perfect, but it has to be most of those things on
Yeah.
my list. Like, you need your standards. Like, you can't settle. I'm gonna freaking stress that so much. Do not settle. You are
So
going
so what's your list? So what's your list now?
Loyalty,
Loyalty,
um, faithfulness. Like,
faithfulness.
I'm big on those two things. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You good? You good?
I'm big on those two things, loyalty and faithfulness. Like, loyalty is royalty. Sorry, someone's calling me. Loyalty is royalty
Yeah.
to me. That's the ultimate.
Yeah.
And those two things are the main things. Communicate, not only communication,
Mm-hmm.
but comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that communicate but don't comprehend. You
Yeah.
can't like in 1 year out 1 year. No.
Like,
No. You have to understand what they freaking mean.
yeah.
And you got to know that people don't read minds.
Mm-hmm.
People automatically assume they know what you mean, but they don't. Like,
Yeah.
so talking is essential. But also, when you're getting angry and stuff, you gotta talk when you're calm.
Mm-hmm.
Things will be said that can't be taken back, even if you don't mean it, and people will remember, like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, you called me a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I ain't gonna forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And people think, oh, you say it when you're mad, so you must mean it. And it's like, there's some things that are meant, and really some things that are just said out of anger, like,
Mm-hmm.
that aren't meant. But people don't realize that it can't be taken back. So you have
Yeah.
to, it's mainly self-awareness. You have to really dive deep and get to know yourself and your wants and your desires, and not settle. That's
Mm-hmm.
my biggest thing. Do not settle for anything less. A lot of people settle. A lot of people settle.
Can you
And
feel? Can you feel?
so, yeah.
Now, I want to ask you. You said about loyalty is royalty, right? I like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. I do. I know for a lot of women, of course. I mean, it doesn't matter. For most relationships, that's like the top thing. Everybody's like, nobody wants to be in a relationship that's not faithful.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do understand when I talk to a lot of people, everybody has a different definition of what loyalty is in 2021. So I want to ask you, what is like loyalty to you? Because we have social media, we have this and that.
Oh yeah, that makes it hard.
Yeah. So like for you, like are there certain things according to your own, either you're the way you see loyalty, like are there certain things that guys do nowadays that to you that's not considered that's out of balance when it comes to like loyalty?
Yeah. I mean, like I've had girlfriends hit me up.
Yeah.
Is my boyfriend messaging you because he just like one of your picture? And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, liking pictures to me is not a bad thing,
Yeah.
but a lot of times they have to view it in reverse. They have to view it at the girl's point. So it's like,
Okay.
if you're liking ass pics,
Yeah.
are you okay with your girlfriend posting ass pics?
Yeah.
You gotta see it. And if you're not okay with it, then you shouldn't be liking it.
Okay.
Liking ain't cheating, but it really defines what you guys have. For me, you guys got to set those boundaries. You
Yeah.
guys, if you're, talking to a friend, introduce your girl to her.
Yeah.
If you guys are just friends, prove it. Like if it's not, then you don't need them. Like you don't. To me, you don't need them. Like your girlfriend can be your best friend. That's how I feel. Like
Yeah.
you can, but it's all on what they define it as.
Yeah.
To me, if it's work, hey, it's work.
Yeah.
You have to. If it's outside of work, you don't have to. You don't, not at all. Like you don't need to keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
That's my point though.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's cool.
I think that's the only other thing. Family, real family, not freaking fake calabash, whatever. Oh, I know them long time family friend. No, real family and like work. That's
Yeah.
what I can do.
One thing I do here.
But
One thing. Go ahead.
oh no, but I'm not gonna go out and be like delete all these people,
Yeah.
cut them all out of your life. No, I'm not like that. But yeah.
One thing I do hear like a lot of men and women talk about is like, should men and women have, should men and women have like, should men have girlfriends or should girls have boyfriends? Like it's as just as friends. And for me personally, I don't, I don't believe if I was dating somebody, I don't believe that you should have a boyfriend, like a friend, because for me, there's no such thing as a guy friend. That's my personal opinion.
So my ex would
yeah.
tell me,
Yeah.
he would tell me, like he understands that, there's a lot of guys that I have as friends.
Yeah.
Because for me, I would chill with the guys. I was a guy, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was a good-looking guy. But and so I have a lot of guy friends, and he would say, yeah, but you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. All your guy friends would fuck you.
Yeah.
If you were to present the opportunity
they would.
They would.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like you do have those friends that you're super close with that you would never, but it all depends on your partner.
Yeah.
If they don't condone that, if they don't like that, then you should be able to cut them off. You should be able to respect that,
Yeah. So for you, are you cool with have if your guy had like girlfriends as friends or no?
So like I said, it would depend on the circumstance. And like how often they talk.
Yeah.
If it's just
once in a while,
just like,
cool.
hey, I hope you're well, but in the sense of if she reaches out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him reaching out. I'm like, why are you checking up on him? Like, you don't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, once in a while, okay, whatever. But if it's like you talking to them forever, it's like I should be your best friend. You should find me as your best friend first. Because that, to me, that's how relationships, you start off as really good friends, and then you can become better as lovers. But that's depending if your guys, you know, go that way, your path go that way. Because I have a lot of guy friends that I'm close with and I talk to, and I have a lot of I don't have a lot of good friends. I have like one best girlfriend. And so, you know, it all depends. And I know a lot of, for men, it's like, no, you can't, because if it came to it, they would in a heartbeat.
Yeah, of course.
And
That's
so
why there's no such thing as a guy friend.
yeah. So I know a lot of guys, it's like, no, cut off all the guys. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, don't post provocative pictures. You're like a mom, or you're my girl. I don't want anyone to see that. And it's like, okay, well then don't like anyone, or unfollow all those big booties or bikini models or whatever. Like, if you want that same treatment, you're gonna have to prove it. And then, you know, then we can give and take. We can come to that agreement. But it all depends on a couple. Some people are okay with, you know, their girl showing it all because they know it's theirs and only theirs. People can look, but they can't touch. As far as talking, that's totally different.
I know you mentioned about having standards and not settling. You know, I do believe, you know, everybody should have standards, right? So you should know what you want and know how you want to be treated by an individual. I do believe everybody should always go for the best, you know. I want to ask you,
like I said, I know there's no perfect.
Yeah, there's no perfect.
So if you have a list of 20 things, you know, settle for 15, as long as it's most of them, because you're not perfect either. Like, I mean, essentially, like, I'm not perfect either. And, you know, but as long as it's most of the things you want, that's something you can work with. You can work better for, you know.
Do you feel like sometimes women, do you feel like, I mean, it goes both ways, but from what you see, do you feel like sometimes like women might have like too high of a list?
No.
No. So whatever you...
So if I have a list of 50, I may never find the perfect person, but I'm not settling. You know, I'm not gonna settle. So hey, I can go out and have my fun. I'm okay. I want love and whatnot, but I'm okay with being single and having fun for the rest of my life. I'm not gonna be an old grumpy cat lady, because I'm gonna be having my fun.
Do you really believe that? Like, I want to ask, like, you think you could really just be by yourself your whole life? And because, like, for me personally, I feel like deep down we all, like, I know, like, we all
do fiend for somebody, a companion. And for me, it's like, if it's the right person, the right timing, it will come no matter what. But I'm okay. So like I said, when I say I'm open to love, I'm open to being with someone. But I need to find that, for me, it has to be like an instant zing. An instant connection. If there's no connection from the get-go, it's not. It's like, I know it's not. Maybe that connection can build up, but I'm looking from that one that's gonna grab my attention, because I've been there. I've had instant connections, so I know it's real. I just, like I said, I'm just not gonna settle. So if you don't freaking come and vibe with me from the get-go, I know you're not the one for me. But if there's like some build up to it, and then boom, I get something from you, then I know I have something I can work with. I have a connection. But, you know, that connection has to be, you know, reciprocated. It can't just be like, oh, I like you, but you don't like me. But for me, it's like, I can feel that instant vibe, that instant aura, that stuff. So a lot of guys that come, I'm like, I know from the get-go. No, sorry, no.
How do you like? How do you know? How can you tell? How do you know?
So for me, like I said, I can just feel it. For me, I feel it for in my person. Like, for instance, there's I get a lot of heart eye emojis. I get people that want to get to know me a lot, and I brush everyone off. I'm like, no, like I can't, like. And then someone will start talking to me more, and I'll talk because I'm nice. I'll talk back. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna shut you out. And then I'll like, okay, you know what? Let me take a look at this person. I look at him, I'm like, oh, okay, he's cute. Oh, that's another thing I put on my list. I have to be attracted to him. Like, they don't have to be drop dead gorgeous, but me personally, physical attraction.
No, that's really, really important. Yeah, that is really important.
And for me, like, before too, I went off of looks. I settled for less, but I used to go out for looks. And to me, that you realize, even they can have a good heart, whatnot, but if you're gonna settle with someone, or even if they're toxic, at least you can have something good to look at.
Got you.
No, it's just, you want to settle with someone ugly, you can. That's all your preference. They could be beautiful on the inside. I want someone beautiful on the inside and outside, I guess, now that the standards are higher, or at least someone that I personally am attracted to. You personally have to be attracted to that person. And so after that, I'm like, oh, he's cute, so I'll go. And then I'm like, okay, boom, I'm set. Like, for me, I could just feel it. For me, I don't know if you guys are, you have to really be in tune with who you are
when you
know what you want.
When you say feel it, like, is it what do you base that off? Like, from a conversation, from like when you talk to them, you meet up with them, like how do you base that feeling?
So I met someone off of IG.
Okay.
And for me, it was just, he would just leave emojis, whatever, and then small talk. And then I was like, okay, he's cool. I finally dug into his profile. I'm like, he's cute. I dig it, whatever. Maybe I get to know him. And then I'm like, boom, I'm gonna invite him to go on a hike or something. Like, I'm not scared. If I'm into someone, I'm not scared to reach out. I'm not scared to make the first move. I'm not scared. Like, I shoot my shots. People are like, oh, a guy should ask a girl out first, or this and that. And I'm like,
no, that's in the old days.
Life is too short, like, to settle. If you want something, go out and get it. Because not only
life is too short, but the game has changed in 2021.
It has. People are more open, but then again, there's more options too,
right?
Because
I'm
Social
saying,
media made that.
You can't wait for people for men to come.
Yeah, like, even in person, when I was going out. Like, if I thought someone was cute, I'll approach them. And not too long ago, I seen someone, I thought he was cute, but my first question was, are you single? Because I'm not a homewrecker. I don't pass those boundaries. I don't do anything. Single, cool. Give me your number. Like, let's link up sometime. Not single, okay. Have a good day. Have a good night. Whatever it is. But at least you ask. At least now. It's not like one of those things where, oh, I should have asked. Now I'm probably never going to see them again. Or I'm going to see them again. But what? When? No, you got to wait, baby. Yes, that's it. Sorry.
It's all good. It is good.
But I forgot what we were talking about. But
single,
I definitely
single. Talk about single.
Looks is one.
Yeah.
You know, why settle for an ugly person?
Yeah.
Ugly in looks, ugly in heart. Like, why?
Yeah.
So my awareness came to that. That should be one, definitely. And then, yeah, like, I don't know how it is for you, but I feel it like deep inside of me if this person's the one. Not in the one in the sense. So like for me, when I invited him out to the hike, he told me no, because he was already like he was in church or something. But I told myself, I like this dude where I want him in my life forever, even if it is just as a friend. Like I don't care. So I never saw him romantically at all.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted him in my life as a friend.
Okay.
And so like you kind of know certain things.
Yeah.
You know, just certain vibes, certain feelings. It's just a feeling. And like you can be cool with all these people, but there's some people that is like, boom, I fuck with you. Like you are so cool that I just, I like your presence.
Yeah.
Type thing. And so that's what I mean by, you can feel it. And for me, I haven't felt it in a while. But that's probably because, I found someone that made me feel that way. So I'm stuck on that. But yeah, for you, it's like, yourself so well that you would know. Sorry, I'm getting a lot of calls. But yeah, so whether the list is of 20 people, I mean, not people, qualities, or of 10 qualities, or 50, as long as you get 8 of the 10, 7 of the 10, or whatever, I think you'll be happy and you can make it work. But if you're settling for like 4, and just because you hit it off real good, but you don't know the person or whatever. Yeah. That's why I say you should get to know them first. Make sure they're your friend first, before diving in deep. Because I know people that, jump into a relationship after 1 month, and I'm like, I know people that every time they get a new girlfriend, they broadcast it so fast. And I'm like, you do know a lot of people are talking about you, right? Like, and people give them shit for it. And it's like, so this is your 5th girlfriend in 2 years. Like, can you just like take a chill pill? Like, you don't need to post about them. You don't need to post about your girlfriends and then people suddenly know about your breakups. That's one thing about social media that I was, kind of bringing up, is like, you have to be okay with what you put out there. People judging it. People can say they don't judge. There's a lot of people, that spread positive vibes and don't judge, but there's also a lot of people that hate, and they feed off drama and they feed off leaving stuff.
Since I know we had a discussion about that, about social media, and we do see a lot of those people always in and out of relationships. They have a couple picture, and the next thing they have like a
See, I judge people like that. I do. I'm not gonna lie, but I laugh and I joke about it. It is one of my friends, and so I do give him shit for it, and it's like
I feel like for me, I feel like a lot of people don't go through the healing process. They don't heal before they go into the next relationship.
They don't.
Because if you don't heal, then you just want, like you said, like then you're not happy being yourself. So you feel like you need the validation of another individual to make you feel special, make you feel like beautiful. And that's why people are constantly not always jumping around, because they're looking for happiness that's external. They don't realize you need to heal to realize that the happiness comes from you,
Yeah.
from within you. And also you add social media where I know we talked about before, you know, like a lot of people think social media is reality. You know, social media is not real life. It's not.
There's a hint of it that's real.
Yeah. Social media is just a place where we can, it's just a place, it's a tool, it's a platform, you know, where we can go and share pictures, but that it's not really your life, because nobody, whoever, I don't care how transparent somebody is on social media. That's just what we see on their profile is just a portion of who they are, a portion of their life. But, you know, but a lot of people literally think that's 100% reality, you know, and I'm pretty sure that I want to ask you, do you, because I know, you know, I love your profile, a lot of positive vibes. I love how you just being yourself and expressing yourself. So do you meet a lot of people that when they judge you based on what they see on social media, and they have these like negative views or things?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's the things you hear from people or have said to you?
So there's this one workout one I did, a video, and it had one of Cardi B's songs on it. Was it Cardi B or Meg? Was one of those songs. But I listen to it in the gym because it gets me going, gets me hyped, you know, whether you like it or not. And then there's this one guy that comments is like, oh, that's the devil's music. And I'm like, that's your opinion. But I didn't even get to see it. My friend sent it to me and I was like, oh, okay, well then he can unfollow. Like, it's not, to me, the music's not that big of a deal, whether you listen to country or not. It doesn't say, I mean, it tells you a hint of who the person is, but it's not who they are, you know? And so I was like, okay, that's his opinion. I had others where, you know, like how there's a lot of voiceover even for TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this one guy said, I thought you were different, but you're not, because I did a voiceover of someone else. And I was like, what? Okay. And he goes, he lost one follower and he, I think he blocked me. And I was like, fuck, do I care?
I know.
It's like,
people have this audacity.
Wait, you had to leave a comment to let me know? Like, why didn't you just do it?
Yeah.
To me, people feel like they need to be heard. Like there's negative comments. So what I do, I don't know if you heard about this. I think it was Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Was somebody. They would write letters like of aggression or, you know, of their negative thoughts and act like they will send it out to that person.
Yeah.
Giving it like their piece of word. And then, but they wouldn't send it out. They would just write it out and either just like trash it or burn it.
Yeah.
And so I've done that a couple times. But what I've done with social media is that when I get a negative comment that I do come across, I don't come across all of them that I see, and it does bother me. I would leave either like a wise remark, or I would say some like fuck off type shit under their comment. And then I would leave it there for like, whether it's seconds or a minute or whatever. I'm thinking, oh, maybe they could see it. They could not see it. I don't care. And then I would delete their whole comment.
Yeah.
So if they seen it, good. If they didn't, good. But at least I released my anger that way. But then the beauty of it is you can delete their negativity and act like it wasn't even there. And that right there just put me in a better state of mind. Like, but the fact that they feel like they need to share such negative shit is like, you don't need to share it. Keep that shit to yourself. If you got something to say, keep it to yourself. Like, nobody cares.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of unhappy people. There's a lot of unhappy people out there. You know, a lot of miserable people. You know, for me, like, I get negativity all the time, but I just understand that there's a lot of unhappy people out there, and social media is a way for them to make themselves feel better by leaving hate. Because if you're a happy person, you don't have time.
But that's cyberbullying.
Yeah, if you're a happy person, you don't really have time or the energy to like shit on people or to hate on people. You just don't. If you come from a very happy place, you know, people who take the time, and especially those people that write out like long paragraphs. Like for them to take the time to leave a comment, for me, it just shows me like the type of person they are. And so for me, it's just like, it's just, it's sad, but I feel for them. I've had my share of hateful comments, but I just feel for them. It's like, damn, that person must be having a miserable life.
So some I don't respond to, some I just like completely go, and then there's others that I just recently I've been just deleting it. Because then I feel like I'm just deleting them from my life, and I'm never gonna see them again. Like, and I tell you, it feels so much better. And then there's some where I responded, and I'm like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry if someone treated you so wrong that you have to do this to other people. I don't know what you're going through, but I'll pray for you. Because like you said, everyone that leaves hateful comments is going through something, or been through something. And so it's also all the different ways you have to how you deal with it.
It's all good. I know for the sake of time, we could come to the end of the podcast. I just want to say thank you so much. We actually had some great conversations. Thank you so much for sharing about your life, how you grew up, your relationships. I know for a lot of men and women, especially the women that watching this, I know a lot of things you shared can apply to their life, and definitely help them in what you share. So, and one thing I always tell people, people that share their life story and they're not afraid, that takes a lot of courage. So the fact that you had a lot of courage today, I know you were anxious. I know you were anxious a little bit, but the fact that you were very courageous today to do this, not only for yourself, but also for people that's watching that might have some type of impact, empowerment, or healing for them. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you much for sharing your story. It was a great story. It was real. It was real. But it was powerful. But it was powerful as well. It was a lot. There was a lot of you. You have a lot of love within you. So thank you for sharing that. One thing I always ask every guest at the end of the show, if you could just share some final thoughts, everybody, some final words of wisdom. So if you could just share some final thoughts, everybody, and we can end up the podcast with that.
Yeah, definitely. Social media or not, you're putting yourself out there, so you're going to be judged regardless. So you might as well make the best of it, and you might as well do what you wanted to. Stop letting what people think hold you back, because you're only holding yourself back from your full potential. If you can get over judgmentals or the naysayers or haters in any aspect of your life, you can get so much further. You just gotta stop letting people control you. And that's pretty much all.